Oh, I love it here. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I wish it was closer to the city of Gothenburg, so then I could see it, because it looks like a really beautiful place, but kind of stranded out in the middle of industry or whatever. But yeah, no, it's good, and the studio's brilliant.
I love this studio. I recorded with Confession here. We did the Long Way Home CD here. And I love it, man. Henky and Fred, fucking good friends of mine, dude. They're funny. I love those dudes so much. And the tone they pull here, man, it's not the same anywhere else. Big drums and shit. Being a drummer myself, like, you gotta come here for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I love it.
Oh, it's great. The band recorded here about 8 years ago when it was in a different location with Frederick as well, so pretty comfortable with him. He's just like the extra member of the band a bit. We get along real well, so yeah, it's good. This studio is a little bit smaller than the old one, but it's quite homely. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I haven't recorded anything here before. A couple of the guys obviously have with Prom before, and Shane with Confession before. But yeah, it's great. Like, I used to probably like some of my favourite records growing up. Frederick did. So yeah, it's great to be over here and be a part of it and everything. Yeah, it's awesome. I guess we always kept an eye on our social media and stuff like that, and I'm always in contact with a lot of fans around the world through my Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So we just noticed that a lot of people still seemed interested in the band. Maybe it was because I had joined other bands and the other guys in Prom Queen had done other bands in the meantime. Maybe that kept some interest there. So yeah, I guess we noticed that there was still a lot of fans who were interested in the band and were asking about hearing new material. So it came to a point where we felt like we had the time to do that, and it felt like the right time, so it seemed like a good idea. Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of different influences now than I did 6 years ago when I wrote the last Prom Queen record. So there will definitely be differences in the sound, and I think everybody in the band is listening to a lot more stuff rather than just metal or just hardcore. But yeah, having said that, it's not like we're gonna, I don't know, go from a breakdown into some weird carnival music or something. It's all gonna be very Prom Queen sounding. It's just maybe some new little ideas slipping in here and there.
None of us in the band really listen to this style of metal, this sort of metalcore, I guess. As the engineer was saying when we recorded the last album a long time ago, that was the first of that type that he'd ever heard, and I guess we didn't necessarily invent a style then, but it was pretty uncommon for the sort of European melodic death metal mixed with, we grew up on bands like Hatebreed and Earth Crisis and stuff, so we just kind of smashed those influences together, and then you cut to a decade later, every band's similar with that.
Yeah, no, heaps of it's kind of always the same thing. Like, doesn't matter what band you're playing in, there's always a lot going on, or there's nothing going on at all, and you're just really bored. But probably just hanging out with good mates. It's good. For me, it's a lot of sort of older metalcore influence, like early Misery Signals and Darkest Hour and bands like that.
Well, when we were writing the songs, there was a lot of, because this is my first CD with Prom Queen, like their usual influences would be like In Flames and kind of Euro metal kind of stuff mixed with what they grew up with, hardcore and shit like that. So that's their influences, but what I would bring would be my kind of drum influences, which are a little bit different to theirs. Like, I listen to fusion and jazz and shit a lot of the time, and that's what I play mostly. So when it comes to playing metal and stuff, it's kind of fuses pretty well. So that's what this will sound like, I guess.
The actual writing is 99% done, I guess. We're really knuckled down the last month to push everything together, so I think we're jamming all day for 2 weeks straight, and somehow probably in that time threw together about 9 songs in that very short space. But that was a combination of a good year or so of coming up with little ideas and not actually being in a room together. So the recording's only just begun. Like the first rhythm guitar tracks and the drums are done at the moment, but still a long way to go. Yeah. So in the recording aspect, probably only 5% through, but the writing's pretty much there.
We only just finished some of the songs actually last week while we were in the studio. We've been spending about the last 4 weeks before we flew here to Sweden just locked in a rehearsal room for 12 hours a day just to make sure we had some songs ready to record. But I think musically it's pretty similar to other Prom Queen stuff. There's maybe some different ideas. We're trying to go a little bit bigger with production and adding things like some live string quartet and a little bit more of the electronic side of things, mostly like synth, but not overboard, just for, I guess, thickness and add an extra dimension to the music. But musically it's still very similar to old Prom Queen. Lots of melody, lots of fast thrashy stuff, lots of breakdowns. We have a couple of new members now as well, which is exciting for us, and they're really old friends of ours, so I think it's going to create a good dynamic in the band. But it's still me and Kevin, who are the two basically original guitarists, who are writing most of the music. So yeah, I don't think you should be worried about it sounding totally weird or whatever. I think we have 12 or 13 tracks for the album. So yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
It was supposed to be released earlier this year.
That's right.
But was delayed until next year.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we had studio time booked in January of this year, and it was right around the time that I was supposed to be finishing up the album with Bring Me the Horizon at the time, which was like last November or something, and that whole process got pushed forward, pushed back, so it was taking a long time for that to happen. So while I was supposed to be in Australia with time off to write this album and then go into the studio in January, I was actually still in England, finishing recording with them and doing some other stuff. And so yeah, we basically had to just push the schedule back, and we tried to get earlier studio time, but we really wanted to come here and record in Sweden with Fredrik again, and this August period was the earliest we could get. So, and then of course the record labels need 3-4 months lead up to release the album, so if it was up to me, we'd put it out as soon as we were finished recording next month, but they need time to do marketing and prepare everything correctly. So I think it's going to work out well. I think it's going to mean that next year we can release the album straight away and then just go on tour full time.
So singing's the same. You scream and that's it. There's not much to it.
No?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I haven't recorded anything yet, so hopefully it turns out alright.
A lot. It is a lot of songs to get in a short period of time, and a lot of these songs that they're recording at the moment were just written some were around for quite a while, and then a lot were worked on and written as well in the last several weeks beforehand while I was learning the set. So yeah, look, it's overload of songs, but yeah, like it's been really good to see them come together, and yeah, I think they've got a really good record coming together. So yeah, a lot of work for me, but yeah, it should be worth it. Like I'll put in an opinion here and there, but it's just been mostly Kev and Jonah's riffs, and Jamie's put some in as well. And you know, I've written for some older bands before, so yeah, like I'll have an opinion of what I like and everything. But yeah, I've been mostly just learning the set just to get ready for these shows and everything as well. So yeah, they've been leading the charge. We've been playing Memento. I guess they've been playing for a while. We played that the last couple of shows. They're literally still coming together and being readjusted and fine-tuning as we're going at the moment in the studio. So look, I'd say probably, yeah, pretty soon we'll be looking to get a couple in there. You don't want to give too much away before the record comes out, so it's still fresh for everybody, but I'd say there'll probably be some new ones in the set pretty soon.
And I think it'll just be kind of wait and see how everything turns out. Just kind of see what flows best, you know? Yeah, I think we don't really know how any individual song's going to turn out yet, so just kind of playing the waiting game.
It's so hard to tell, really. I guess we're all a bit out of the loop of that kind of world these days. We've all gone off and done our own things. We're playing different style bands and stuff, which isn't really related to Prom. So I think hopefully anyone that dug the last record, they'll see our sounds still there, just enhanced. Or else those people might have gone on to either more technical forms of metal, or they might have branched off into more straight hardcore. So I think we're somewhere in between what the last record was, but just a lot, maybe not structurally busier, but the parts are there's a lot more going on all the time. Whereas the other one, when I listen to it, I think it's pretty simple. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Hopefully they dig it. Nothing's locked in because it's only really early in the process at the moment. But if anything, there might be some guest vocals right at the end of the recording. So in the last couple of weeks, we might say, hey, this guy, this friend or whatever might be good for this part. But as far as I know, no one's 100%. So it's all going to be a secret.
It's not better or worse, it's just, some of the guys felt like they couldn't be in the band anymore, and the guys that we have now are also close friends. I think the hardest thing for us is just going to be to get used to playing with different people. It's always going to be different, and we just have to rehearse a lot, but it's nice to have it all happen before this record, because it's sort of like a clean slate, and it means that once this record comes out, hopefully people will recognise this lineup as the new I Killed the Prom Queen, rather than sort of going, where's the old drummer that was in the band 7 years ago, or where's the bass player that was in the band 5 years ago? Yeah. It's like, this is who we are now, and hopefully, like I said, the record will solidify that in people's minds.
I mean, I'm easy either way. Like, dudes have got, like JJ had D's Nuts going on, so it's good that he's off concentrating on that, and I think Sean's, he's a bit happier now, just sort of chilling at home. And it's sick to have Coy and Shane in the band, because they're good friends, so everyone gets on, and that's probably the most important thing to me.
Yeah. When you're doing bands that tour so much, it's the same routine every day. You get up, get on a bus, do the thing again. Like, it's great. I'm not complaining at all. It's fucking sick, but it's all pretty much the same. I'm just really enjoying being in this band, and they're good friends of mine. I've known them for a long time, and it's great. I love it. Well, I toured when I was in Confession. I toured with Coit, who now plays bass in Prom Queen, and Kev, and I've known Jamie since then as well, because they filled in on Confession things as well. So I've been friends with them for a good maybe 2.5 years, 3 years now or something, I think. And so when I think JJ was saying he was going to leave the band, they mentioned to me that they wanted me to, think about doing it and stuff, and I was doing Buried in Verona at the time. So, I said I think about it, but I was kind of busy and stuff. But then just, options came through, and they're really good friends of mine. So I just, wanted to spend my time traveling the world with my friends. So that's why I joined the band.
Well, there's a few new people in the band now, but I guess Jonah and I have grown a lot as players ourselves, so everything's a little bit, I guess, better planned, even though we wrote really fast for this one. We're a bit more conscious of what makes a good song rather than just good parts. And the new drummer is a lot more technical than anyone we've had before. So he's really added a lot of spark to the new music. When we first started trying to write, it was real hard, because we were all like, wow, it's weird to do this kind of music again. But now with Shane on drums, he's a lot more, he plays a lot sort of Dillinger Escape Plan style drums, so mixing that with what we're doing, it kind of refreshes the sound a little bit.
jävligt oförberedda. Vad vill du säga?
Ja, jag tycker de har väl mycket ändå klart, men det behövs finputsas
det är
lite
finputsas.
och sådär. Kan man säga, men det är väl som vanligt ofta. Det är det inte det?
Nej, inte så här mycket. De har liksom det... Ja, men det var... De har ju inte satt ihop låtarna riktigt här. Men så det händer ju så ibland. Ibland är ju folk... De är så pass rutinerade musiker och det brukar vara så att man inte är så jävla färdig när man kommer till studion.